What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the Not So Retro Subscriber Challenge featuring the top 10 highest scoring battles. Now the aim of this challenge is to use as many Dark, Fairy and Steel type moves as possible in the Retro Cup, a meta where those typings are banned. Now on the right hand side of the screen you can see the exact scoring system for the challenge. It's been a few weeks since the last Subscriber Challenge video, and this is going to be the first week where I implement the new ELO multiplier system, which you can see on the screen right now. Now this might look slightly complicated, but essentially trainers will get a small multiplier applied to their final score depending on the amount of elo they have over 2000. Now for trainers at or below 2000 elo or below rank 20, they will have no multiplier applied to their final scores. Now as this is the first time we're seeing this in effect on the scoring system, please do let me know at the end of the video what you think about this. Does this seem more fair for those higher elo trainers? Is the multiplier maybe slightly too high? Is it slightly too low? I would very much appreciate the feedback as I continue to try and make the challenges even better and even more inclusive for everyone regardless of your skill level. Also, if you're wondering where the Beat the Algorithm and the Unbelievably Frustrating Challenge videos are, unfortunately I didn't receive enough submissions for either of those challenges at the time, but I do now have enough submissions at least to group them together and make a single video, but I'm not certain when that video will come out. And finally, before we get into the question of the day, there will be no subscriber challenge this week as it's actually Go Battle Week starting on Wednesday, so instead I'll be once again hosting the Battle of Spice. To find out more about the competition, visit the link in the description, but do note I will also make a proper announcement in a community post later today. With that being said, let's finally get into the question of the day. What has been your favorite subscriber challenge this season? I'll be looking to repeat some of the more popular challenges next season, so please do let me know in the comment section down below. And with that being said, let's get into the battles now. So go into the first battle, leading Shadow Jumpluff into Licky Licky. So of course, Jumpluff gonna be on Fairy Wind, so that's 1 point straight away there for the Fairy type fast move. We are going to no shield the first move coming from the opponent. They go for a body slam there, not dealing too much damage. We go for one Fairy Wind, then we fire off a Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam gonna get us 2 points on the board there for a Fairy type charge move. And again, just gonna no shield this as the opponent fires off a second body slam. We go straight for Dazzling Gleam this time around, not throwing on the best timing, but Dazzling Gleam gets us 2 more points. We're now going to swap into Kecleon and we are on Sucker Punch. So that's 1 more point there as Sucker Punch is a Dark type fast move and we get the farm down with that Dark type move. So that's 1 more bonus point as they come in with an unloaded Marowak. Now we're going for Foul Play, a Dark type charge move. That's going to get us 2 more points here as the opponent uses a shield. At this point we're going to no shield once again. The opponent fires off the Bone Club there. Absolutely fine with us. We're now going to go straight for a Foul Play once again, not throwing on the best timing, but Foul Play, another 2 points, and it grabs the final shield from the opponent. So at this point, the opponent is going to fire for charge move. We are finally going to use a shield here as they fire off a Bone Club. Looks like we will commit to a full Sucker Punch farm down. So the opponent fires off a second Bone Club before swapping into their final Pokemon, a Jellicent, and we can go straight for Dark Pulse here. So of course, Dark Pulse going to hit for super effective damage. That's 2 more points on the board. The opponent does just barely outpace us to the next charge attack. And by the way, this is a slightly controversial submission here as the opponent does not actually land that next charge move or get a farm down, but of course it was pretty much guaranteed at that point. You can see when the opponent did concede the match, we were already pressing the Dark Pulse. We would have got the farm down there, which is why I did apply those bonus points. But anyways, into the next battle there, and of course you can see the last trainer didn't have a huge elo multiplier, so finishing with just over 19 on the scoreboard. But anyways, into the next battle, already trying to commentate on this battle. We are very much losing ground here, but of course we got Fairy Wind on the Jumpluff. We had Sucker Punch and Crunch on that Lycanroc. The opponent goes for a Skull Bash there before swapping into a Furret. So going straight for Dazzling Gleam. Once again, Dazzling Gleam gonna hit for neutral damage here, and we are going to reach a second Dazzling Gleam. So Dazzling Gleam gonna get us 2 points on the board once again, already up to 8 points as the opponent fires off a charge move with their Furret. So Swift is going to connect there. It doesn't do too much damage, and then unfortunately losing CMP, but Aerial Ace, of course, would not score us any points anyway, so not the worst thing ever. We come back in with the Lycanroc, and the opponent comes in with a Medicham, but they swap out there. They're going to be Switch Locked now. We can come in with the Skeledirge. Of course, Incinerate is not going to get us any points. However, both Crunch and Disarming Voice will be scoring points for us here. So the opponent is going to take a Crunch. We're going for Crunch here, which is quite interesting. Of course, Crunch not going to be super effective, which might allow us to reach another Crunch. So we get 2 points there. and we're looking to go for a full farm down. The opponent fires off the Ice Punch, but they snipe with the Forest, and we actually lose all of that energy, which is incredibly painful for us. But we can come back in with the Lycan Rock. We get the farm down, so that's 1 bonus point there with the Sucker Punch farm down. We're now going to fire off a Crunch here, and Crunch is going to get us another 2 points, but we have not yet used all 3 typings, which means we're now going to go for a resisted Iron Head. Of course, using our final shield, Iron Head is resisted, but from this range, it will certainly get the KO. An Iron Head, 2 points there, plus a bonus point for the KO, plus 2 bonus points for using all 3 typings, and then another bonus point there for farming down the Medicham. And we finish with a huge score of 23 points, 7 something or other, I can't actually remember, but of course, they had a huge multiplier there, as of course they did just below 3,000 elo submit their battle. So anyways, into the next battle, we're going to see another Jumpluff. You will see quite a lot of similar Pokemon in these battles, as a lot of them are just quite efficient for the challenge. But either way, we do connect with the Disarming Voice. We come in with a Bullet Punch Shadow Machamp. You can see Machamp is also on Heavy Slam and Payback for the charge moves. So we're going to go for the Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam, got to be shielded. 2 points on the board right there. And at this point, we're probably just going to let the Machamp go down. Honestly, not that dominant of a matchup up against the Dunsparce, since, of course, we are not running any fighting-type moves. But anyways, going to come in with a Sucker Punch Trevenant. So we have now used all 3 typings, which means we get the 2 bonus points there, plus a point for running Sucker Punch. We fire off the Foul Play. Foul Play gets us another 2 points there, and it should put them into farm down range. Now, the opponent is going to be able to reach another charge move just before we do fully farm them down there. So, of course, I'm going to use a shield here, and the opponent is actually going to swap into a Machoke. And if you don't know, unfortunately, Machoke only has double resisted moves to throw into Trevenant, so we can safely stay in this matchup. We fire off 1 Foul Play. Dynamic Punch does not get the KO there, and we're able to reach a second Foul Play. Now, Foul Play going to get us another 2 points before swapping into our Jumpluff once again. So at this point, we are going to shield this up. It's only going to be single resisted there. We can now go straight for Dazzling Gleam, and of course, Dazzling Gleam, super effective damage. It gets the KO, so 2 points plus the bonus point for the knockout. 1 more bonus point for farming down with Fairy Wind, and another bonus point there for another farm down. And you can see this trainer was at or below 2,000 elo, so they will just finish on 20 points and going into second place. But into the next battle, we are going to see a Jumpluff once again, not too surprising here, into a Shadow Dragonite. So the opponent will outpace us to that first charge move, but that's absolutely okay. Gonna no-shield it as they go for a Dragon Claw. We're now gonna go straight for Dazzling Gleam, and we are looking to undercharge this, but it still gets the KO there. So we do get 2 points plus a bonus point for the knockout, but of course, we do miss out on a little bit of farm there. Either way, we come in with Kecleon, and once again, running Sucker Punch for that fast move. Gonna go straight for Foul Play here. Foul Play, not gonna do much damage, but it does grab us 2 points there, which is very nice. We are going to no-shield. The opponent does just settle for a Sludge Bomb there, which is obviously going to do nowhere near as much damage as an Earthquake. Going to go and fire off another Sucker Punch into Blastoise. Oh, sorry, a Foul Play, sorry. We are going to go for another Foul Play as the opponent overfarms massively. We win CMP. Foul Play gets us another 2 points, and we put them into range where we should be able to farm them down. Hydro Cannon gets the KO there. We come in with a Metal Claw Sand Slash, which of course is going to mean that all 3 typings have been revealed in this battle. So we get 2 bonus points there, and we make a really nice catch there, catching a Hydro Cannon onto our Jumpluff. The opponent comes back in with the Clodsire, only reaching 1 charge move, so actually going to go for the resisted move here, just to score 2 more points with a Dazzling Gleam. They do get a full farm down, but we do have a Night Slash loaded, so going to fire off the Night Slash straight away. Night Slash, going to grab a shield there, and we get the boost, which is huge for us. Of course, Night Slash is a Dark-type charge move, so we get 2 points there. We should be able to tank an Earthquake reasonably comfortably here, so of course, all shields are down, but we do tank that. The opponent swaps back into Blastoise, so we get the point there for, of course, farming them down with Metal Claw, and now we're at back-to-back Night Slashes. First one gets us 2 points, and a second Night Slash will actually get the KO from this range, so 2 points plus a bonus point, and we finish on 24 points, but with that Elo multiplier, that actually takes us into the lead with over 26 points in total. Now into the next battle, we are going to see a Ursaring in the lead with Metal Claw once again as the fast move. So of course we are double resisting the Astonish damage. I'm going to shield the move here as the opponent fires off the Dynamic Punch, and now we're going to overfarm and fire off a Play Rough. Now Play Rough is going to connect, it does big damage, and it actually allows us a full farm down. We get the farm down with Metal Claw, so a bonus point there. We're now going to swap back the energy, come in with a Metal Claw Sand Slash once again, and fire off a Night Slash. Now Night Slash is going to grab a shield, and that's all 3 typings already used, so 2 bonus points there as well. The opponent fires off a Sludge Bomb bait, huge call for us. We're now going to fire off a Night Slash once again, winning CMP this time around, and Night Slash is going to get us 2 more points there. And at this point, we're going to shield at the last second, and they do unfortunately bait again with a Sludge Bomb, but that's fine with us. We can fire off another Night Slash, and this might just be another Sludge Bomb. So at this point, Night Slash gets them fairly low, and the opponent is firing off the Charge Move. And again, it's just going to be a resisted Sludge Bomb. The opponent not swapping out there, giving us a full farm down. Coming out, of course, with a Night Slash loaded. We get the bonus point for the farm down with Metal Claw. We get 2 points there for the Night Slash, and we swap. We come in with the Ursa Ring, Play Rough, 2 more points and big damage, and we force the opponent to throw a Charge Move. The opponent fires off the Bone Club there, getting the KO. We can come in with the Runa Regus. Unfortunately, Shadow Claw is not going to get us any points here. However, we do have access to Brutal Swing. And of course, from this range, a Brutal Swing will certainly be enough damage to get the KO. So 2 points there, plus the bonus point for the knockout, finishing on 21 and no ELO multiplier there. So of course, going into 3rd place with 21 points. Into the next battle, we are going to see a Sand Slash, into a Superior, so not ideal. Going to say swap into Trevenant, again on Sucker Punch, and the opponent responds with a Talonflame, so definitely not ideal for us, but we can go ahead and fire off the Foul Play, grabbing 2 points there, and we will reach a second Foul Play before the opponent can fully farm us down. So Foul Play number 2 gets them incredibly low, unfortunately just barely not getting the KO, but we come in with the Sand Slash here, and we are of course on Metal Claw once again, so we get a point there, and we should be able to Metal Claw, farm them down. We're going to no shield twice, and we do get that farm down. So 1 point there. Then we got Fairy Wind on the Shadow Jump Bluff. So that's 2 bonus points for the all 3 typings being revealed. We get 2 points there as well for a Dazzling Gleam, grabbing a shield here. And as long as they're not on Blizzard, this should be a very comfortable matchup. Despite not having any grass type moves, we can go for the Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam does big damage. 2 more points for us, and the opponent, they're just not going to be able to deal much damage here whatsoever. So the opponent fires off the Skull. Skull doesn't do much damage, and they throw immediately. This is just going to be a triple resisted Mud Bomb, which means we can now overfarm massively, farming up to very close to back-to-back charge moves. Of course, you can't quite do that with Dazzling Gleam, but 2 points there, plus the bonus point for the KO. And Jump Bluff, very bulky, so we can tank an Aerial Ace pretty comfortably. We can now overfarm. Of course, Aerial Ace is the super effective charge move, but it's not going to score us any points. So Dazzling Gleam gets us 2 more points on the board, and we do reach another Dazzling Gleam. And from this range, Dazzling Gleam gets the KO, 2 more points plus the bonus point there, finishing with 22, a small ELO multiplier there. So we do finish on 22.44 points overall. Into next battle, and you can see another trainer at or below 2000 elo, so no multiplier for this battle. But anyways, we see another Metal Claw Sand Slash. We go for Night Slash, getting 2 more points there. We're definitely going to shield this, as Sand Slash, not the bulkiest Pokemon ever. They fire off the Dynamic Punch. We're now going to overfarm, but we overfarm too much. You can see we try to make a catch there. Doesn't work out for us. Instead, going to double shield as the opponent comes in with a Bite Gyarados. So interesting play from the opponent there, but obviously not a very good fast move at all. Dragon Breath and even Dragon Tail or Waterfall would be a lot better for the Gyarados, but we can now come in with our Jump Bluff and once again revealing all 3 band typings, so getting 2 bonus points there, plus the bonus of plus the single point for Fairy Wind. And we grab a shield with a Disarming Voice, sorry, a Dazzling Gleam. Man, I'm getting mixed up with all these moves here, but either way, the opponent's going to swap back into their Grumpig. We can fire off another Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam gets the 2 points plus the bonus point for the KO, and we're able to reach another Dazzling Gleam, and this will of course get the KO up against the Gyarados, so another 3 points for us. And then we come in with a Snarl Mew. So at this point, of course, all shields are down. The opponent goes straight for a Mud Bomb there, and we can fire off a Dark Pulse. Now Dark Pulse again gonna get us 2 more points on the board. And Mew should just barely be able to live a Mud Bomb from this range. It will be very close here, but Mew is just barely hanging on. We're going to go and fire off a Dark Pulse, but we're actually going to undercharge this. So Dark Pulse gets us 2 points here. We can come back in with the Sand Slash, and we're going to swap and perfectly catch onto our Jump Bluff. The opponent fires off the Mud Bomb there, which means we can come back in, fire off a Night Slash, and Night Slash should get the KO from this range. So Night Slash gonna get us 3 more points there, finishing on a total of 26, but of course no ELO multiplier, so unfortunately that's only just barely enough for second place there. Very close between the top 2, but unfortunately just into second. But into the next battle, we're gonna see a Crocodile into a Quagsire, so we're actually going to go for a Disarming Voice, and you might think, well, Crunch and Disarming Voice do the same damage. Crunch is just slightly better as it has a percentage chance to debuff the opponent's defense. However, we've not got any Fairy type moves on the other 2 Pokemon in the back, so it makes sense to go for the Disarming Voice there, as then we can get the 2 bonus points. But anyways, this Hariyama is on Bullet Punch and Heavy Slam, so getting 1 point for the fast move, 2 points for the KO, and a bonus point for, two points for the Heavy Slam, and a bonus point for the KO. Anyways, going to come in with a Hex, what's this called? Galarian Slow King. We are going to no shield as the opponent full sends the Shadow Ball there. Fine with us. We can come in with the Electrode, and we are definitely going to shield here as the opponent is going to go and full send the Shadow Ball once again. We could go for a farm down, but of course Volt Switch is not going to be a move that gets us any points, so instead we go for Foul Play. We've now gone for all 3 typings, which gives us 2 bonus points there, plus the bonus point for the KO. We can now go for another Foul Play, and we are spamming these incredibly fast. The opponent is going to go for a Power Gem there, but that really did not do much damage. I wonder if the opponent is possibly lagging at this point, but either way, we're going to go for another Foul Play. Foul Play gets us another 2 points, and we're able to reach yet another Foul Play before they farm us down or throw another move, and they don't commit to the farm down at all. Instead, throwing a last second charge move, going for the Power Gem once again, and that means we're just barely able to reach a charge move on the Crocodile, finishing with 22 points, and again a small ELO multiplier there, but finishing just slightly above the previous submission there on 22.55 points. But into the next battle, we're going to see Crocodile in the lead once again. So again, no points for the fast move, but we do have access to Disarming Voice and Crunch, so we can score either way. We are going to overfarm, fire off the Crunch here. This time, of course, we do have a Pokemon with Fairy type damage in the back, so it does make sense to go for Crunch, as of course Crunch does have a chance to debuff their defense. Now the opponent fires off a second Swift, we're able to tank it, and then farm up to another Crunch here. Crunch is going to get the KO, so 2 points plus the bonus point for the knockout there. We are going to come in with our Metal Claw Sand Slash once again, and the opponent does have enough energy for a Blast One. It looks like we lagged by 1 turn as we come in there, so unfortunately missing out on a fast move, but the opponent reveals their final Pokemon, a Whiscash. So we are on Charm, which means we get the bonus points there for using all 3 typings. We are unfortunately going to be very slow to the charge moves, but Brion does have a little bit of bulk to it, which means we are just barely able to hang on, living the Mud Bomb and reaching a last second Disarming Voice, and this is huge for us. That's going to be 2 points, and it will put them into, well, not quite farm down range, but we can go ahead and fire off a Night Slash. Night Slash gets the KO there, the bonus point, of course, for that knockout. We can go for another Night Slash. I believe this Typhlosion should have enough energy for the Blast Burn. For whatever reason, though, they are not throwing a charge move. I don't really understand what's going on, and that still doesn't KO, but for whatever reason, they still don't throw, and as a result, we finish with 19 points. Unfortunately, not a huge multiplier there, so we do go sort of into the middle of the pack there, but into the final battle of this video. Let's see if Robidigiov can take the win. It's going to be very close here. Of course, we've seen 2 trainers already in the sort of 26-point range. Can we get up into that range here? We're about to find out. But anyways, we've got a Shadow Sand Slash this time around, once again, on that combination of Metal Claw and Night Slash. Of course, Trevenant as well on Sucker Punch, which we've already seen. We get 2 points for the Night Slash there, and we are actually going to double shield this, just because we can now go for a full farm down. The opponent recognizing that's what we're going to go for, so they swap back into Claydol, but we can come in with the Trevenant, go straight for a Foul Play, and of course, Foul Play going to hit for super effective damage. It is non-stab, so it doesn't do that much damage, but the opponent not on Ice Beam, so they go for Rock Tomb, but that actually gives us more farm. We get the farm down there, we get the bonus point for that KO, and we can now overfarm massively with the Trevenant and fire off a Foul Play. Foul Play gets the knockout there, so another 2 points and that bonus point, and they reveal their final Pokemon to be a Dugong. So again, going for Foul Play, getting 2 more points on the board, and we come in with our final Pokemon, a Crocodile. Of course, once again, Crocolaw on Incinerate, so no points for the fast move, but we can go for Disarming Voice, and this is going to reveal all 3 typings, which means we get the 2 bonus points there for that, and now we can fire up a Crunch. Crunch should be grabbing the final shield from the opponent. It does exactly that, and the opponent is forced to throw a charge move. Of course, Drill Run gets the KO from that range, but we can reach a last-second Night Slash here, and Night Slash will definitely get the KO up against the Dugong, which gives us 3 more points, finishing on 23, but with that Elo multiplier, 23 actually gets us very close to 27 points overall, and Robert Digiov takes the win in the end. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.